Okay, guys, welcome back. So this is the site now, okay, with my logo. And in this lecture, I want to look at this bit here, okay, this big bit here, which is it's basically what they call a home page slider. I'm sure you've seen on many sites now, particularly in e-commerce. There's often a slider. In other words, an image that replaces. You can see this one sliding from left to right, right? So basically, it keeps the potential buyer interested. It kind of pulls them into the store. It's a very nice way of doing a homepage. So I want to have a look at that in the context of this store. So if I go back to the admin system, I'm already onto themes now. Yeah, I've gone straight in there this time. I hope you're starting to familiarize yourself with the menu. So I hope you've managed to find that nice and easily. And we just looked at logo and menu up here. All right. I've taken off the announcement bar, you'll notice. And the slideshow is the next thing I'm talking about here. Okay, now if I click on this, now some very nice simple click and point settings here, right? So I can change the slide every however many seconds I want. I can actually change the transition effect from slide to fade should I want to. Yeah, very nice. Auto rotate the slides, this kind of stuff. And then of course the slides themselves down here. And at the moment it's alternating between two default slides, you may notice. But I could add many, and what I suggest is, just on that subject, little aside, don't be tempted to add in, let's say more than 5. And the reason for that is that you have to think about the speed of loading of your site. Okay, load speed of a site is super important. If somebody comes to your site after all your hard work and it takes more than sort of 3 seconds to load, they will leave. Okay, so you really have to think about this. And with any image, in fact, any logo, any images that you load up onto your site, you need to make sure that they are as efficient as possible. All right. Later on, I'll show you a nice little site that enables you to test the load speed of your site, because it really is very important. Anyway, so here, I'm actually just going to have one slide at the moment. So it's not exactly going to be a slideshow, as more just one slide. And the reason for that is because I'm going to put up one slide that sort of says immediately something about my store, which I thoroughly recommend as well. And then what I like to do is the other slides, I actually like them to be products, so people get an immediate idea of what this store is about. Now, we haven't got onto products yet. We're not far away. We haven't added any products to this store. So it wouldn't make sense for me to add in product pictures yet without actually any products on the store itself. But that's fine. We're going to come back to this later to add that in. So for the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this second slide here, open it up, and I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, so delete it. So I'm down to one slide. And what I'm going to do now is upload an image that I already have that is actually based on that logo. I like that because it sort of ties the two things together. Now, images are a big subject in general. Some free, some paying. And just to bring your attention to the fact that Shopify has this site called Burst. Okay, it's burst.shopify.com. And it's a whole load of free images, which is absolutely fantastic, okay? But it does, in my opinion, have its limitations. I mean, at the end of the day, it is free, okay? If I go in here with dog, for example, and I search, I get some great looking images for free. But you'll notice that 81 photos came up, 81 photos. That's not exactly a huge number of images. Now, I suspect they're adding to this. But, if you think about the number of people, the popularity of Shopify at the moment, if many people are using these same images, then the uniqueness of your store is going to be compromised. So what I would suggest is you actually look at some other sites. And I tend to gravitate towards a site called iStock Photo, for example. This is a great site. It is paying, but I do feel that images, once you pay for them, I mean, we're talking about tens of dollars. It's not hugely expensive. You get a super high quality image, often in many different formats that you can use. It's your image, all right? It's your image. You can use it as you want. You won't have any royalty issues. So when I type in dog into this one here, I get 678,000 results. Yeah, I mean, a huge number. So suddenly you see a massive difference, let's say, between a paying service and a free service. Another paying site which is also very popular is Shutterstock. Okay, Shutterstock up here .com, which has again many photos, images. If I type in here dog again and click on results, here I get 13,000, 14,000-ish images, you know, more than enough. Now, just to finish off this little discussion on images here, do not be tempted, okay, to go on to Google Images and start grabbing them from there. I know they are free, but images, there are royalties attached to images. Sometimes people own them. Just because it's on Google and you can take it for free doesn't mean that it's not owned by somebody else. Now, it's highly unlikely in the early adventures of your store that you're going to get any issues. But when your store becomes popular, yeah, somebody might take issue with the fact that you're using one of their images and you're not paying any royalties. So rather than give yourself any kind of problems down the road, either go for the free images, like on Burst, for example, or go and get yourself some really cool paid images, and then you're done. Okay, let's go back to the admin system. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add that first slide image. All right, so I'm going to select that, and I'll see you in a sec once I've done it. Okay, so here we are. This is my image. All right, this woman cuddling the dog. You get the sort of the connection between these two, actually. And in fact, I'll be honest with you. What I did was, when I got my image done on Fiverr, I already had this image because I liked it. I think I got it off iStock Photo originally. I liked it, and I actually sent that to the designer and said, can you produce some sort of logo around that? So that's another way of doing it to inspire your designer. Anyway, so I've got this here. Let's select it. And there you go. We have that image now loaded into the homepage slider. If I actually go to the homepage, and you'll see the same thing, right? This is exactly it. This is how our site now looks. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you at this stage. Now, I didn't trick you, but I did want to bring you down this path of this pop theme, because at the end of the day, it doesn't give me what I want, okay? And that can happen quite a lot. If I look at this homepage now, it's not saying really e-commerce to me. It's not drawing my customer in any way. You know, I would really like to have some text which I could perhaps put over this image, for example, that says what my store is. Maybe a button that can take them straight into the store. That kind of thing. Now, if you go through the pop theme, that's not available. All right, and I really, you know, I did this because I want you to realize that sometimes you come to these kind of dead ends with these themes, and you think, no, that's not actually doing it. So forgive me. I hope you don't feel tricked in any way. I hope this is a part of the learning experience of what I'm trying to teach you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to install the theme that I actually wanted in the first place. I'll see you in a sec.